Mountain News, first at 4, continues.
It's been a gray and gloomy day across the region, but the worst weather may be yet to come. Meteorologist Evan Hatter has the latest on this severe weather alert day. Evan?
Thanks, Steve. Yes, I think we're going to continue to see some of those gray skies out there, at least until the sun sets. They'll still be gray, but it'll be nighttime out there with warm air and moisture moving in thanks to strong southwest winds. Those winds are going to kick up as we head later on into the nighttime hours. You see that gray scene we have outside from our Buffalo Mountain camera here in Perry County. Temperatures mid-50s. That's about 5 degrees above average for this time of year, and we're only going to continue to warm up into tonight. Most of the area is under a wind advisory until 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It goes into effect later tonight. We could see wind gusts, and this is outside of thunderstorms, 30 to 40 miles per hour. So that is a possibility. Make sure that you have the Christmas decorations tied down. We don't want to see any wise men in the neighbor's yard. I'm just saying out there as we head into tonight and early tomorrow. As we look at the temperatures around the region right now, we're in the mid to upper 50s at the moment. A few lower 50s in places like Jacksboro, Middlesboro, and into Harlan. But we're going to continue to see those temperatures on the increase later on tonight. Still watching a strong storm pushing through the McDowell area right now into southern parts of Floyd County. And that's going to be moving into Pikeville here before too long. So just be aware of that. But the action just getting going out to our west. A new tornado watch. You don't see it here, but a new tornado watch in effect for western Kentucky down through the Ozarks. And that is where the greatest severe weather risk will be. Areas like Paducah further to the south and west under the 4 out of 5 moderate risk for severe weather. Usually rare any time of year, especially rare in the month of December. For us, just in that marginal risk for tonight with that slight risk knocking on the door. So for tonight, we're going to be warming up with gusty winds and scattered showers. We're going to continue to watch the evolution of things to our west. And when we could see, and I'll have the latest on when we could see those storms moving into the mountains coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Officials gathered in Lee County for ribbon cutting today to celebrate the reopening of the Lion manufacturing plant in Beattyville, which creates PPE for first responders around the globe. WYMT's Alyssa Williams was there to watch the event unfold.
Several state representatives paid a visit to the Lion PPE manufacturing plant here in Beattyville today, not only to see the new facility in action, but to talk about the economic prosperity it's aiming to bring back to eastern Kentucky. It is back up and running after closing 11 years ago, bringing back several Lion employees that relocated to the company's West Liberty facility after the Beattyville location closed.
The last 10 years we've been traveling to West Liberty to work there to still be with Lion, and now that they've come back to Beattyville, we've got to come back home, so it feels really good to be back home.
Not only does the return of this facility leave an economic impact on eastern Kentuckians, the protective liners that are getting their start here are going far and wide, with many being shipped to not only other states but other countries, helping first responders around the world while helping men and women here at home. In Beattyville, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Officials say that some of Lion's biggest partners are in Chicago or New York, so when you see first responders on the big screen, chances are they could be wearing gear that was made right here in eastern Kentucky. Law enforcement officers wear the badge with a duty to protect and serve, and in Pike County, one of those servants was recently recognized for going above and beyond. Pike County Sheriff's Deputy Robert Orem received an award at the East Kentucky Dream Center's Dare to Dream Gala Tuesday night, recognizing a moment almost 1 year ago when he rescued a woman and her dog from freezing temperatures, connecting her with the Dream Center to open the door of opportunity.
There wasn't a dry eye in the place. The Dream Center does way more than just food and clothing. We help people. We help people grow. We do help people thrive. We help them with their GED. We help them get jobs. We help them get in an apartment. And once they get that apartment, we help them furnish that apartment. So for him to be a part of that, he needed to be recognized that he was a part of that.
Coming up tonight at 6, hear more about that February night and why it sticks with Deputy Orem to this day. 'Tis the season for making lists of gifts and checking them twice to make sure they have arrived. Unfortunately, some people do not get their packages in time, and people take advantages. That is what happened to one Lexington man who says a porch pirate snagged a box from right outside his front door. Jesse Warren says he was driving home and saw a woman in an SUV leaving his driveway. When he checked his doorbell camera, it showed a red-haired woman standing on his front porch. She rings the doorbell, waits for about 30 seconds, picks up a box, and takes off. Warren says while he wasn't surprised, he was upset.
I knew stuff like that happens around this time of day. I just never thought it would happen to me until it actually did. So really didn't caught me by surprise. Just kind of upset me that it was my son's gift that she took.
Warren bought a lockbox that now sits outside his door to prevent another theft. It's only accessible with a code given to delivery drivers. The supply chain issues are apparently not affecting how much product is being shipped into the U.S. A new global port tracker report found the U.S. is on track to break records despite disruptions to the supply chain. The report says by the end of the year, the nation is expected to have the highest volume of products shipped to the United States since the National Retail Federation started tracking imports in 2002. This year will have more than 18% more volume than in 2020. The pattern should continue into the first part of 2022. The U.S. Navy has shut down fuel tanks and lines at the Pearl Harbor Naval Base, blamed for dangerous levels of petroleum that are contaminating a second groundwater source. State health officials say tainted water has already forced hundreds from their homes. CBS's Lilia Luciano met a woman on the base who is worried for her family's health and safety.
We just don't even turn on anything.
Military wife and mom Cindy Rivera fears her family had been drinking toxic water tainted with jet fuel for a long time.
The first indication was my husband had a rash on his face that was really like violently red.
She and her kids also got sick, and when the water started smelling like gas, she said no more and stopped drinking it.
How much exposure do you fear that you had?
Like 11 days, even contamination in months before that.
She says it feels like camping with her 4 kids at home, having to wash dishes, bathe, and cook with bottled water.
I just think we were living in paradise and unknowingly having this situation where we were getting ourselves and our kids sick.
I'm disgusted, really.
At town hall meetings, military officials have tried to reassure anxious families, but provide little information. And the issue has now affected a second Navy well.
We are working day and night to figure out what the source of the odors.
Ernest Lau, manager and chief engineer of the Honolulu Board of Water Supply, says the Navy needs to empty out the fuel tanks and pipelines altogether.
We believe that safe drinking water is also important for our defense and for our security.
Lau believes the problem is in the way the tanks were designed and hastily built.
The only thing that keeps the fuel from leaking out into the environment and eventually into the groundwater is a 1/4-inch steel plate that was installed and welded in place 78 years ago.
Some military families fear the long-term impacts to their livelihoods and health.
We should do everything we can to support these families and show that, you know, this service of our servicemen and our families that serve alongside is not in vain.
For CBS, Lilia Luciano on the island of Oahu, Hawaii.
Coming up on First at 4, a new report is showing that the cost of living continues to climb, reaching highs not seen in decades.
And we're watching the latest data here in the WYMT Weather Center for our Severe Weather Alert Day. I'll have the latest timing and impacts right ahead.